Peace, love, and light. Welcome to Alchemy Soul, a space for honest conversations about transformation, spiritual awakening, and the messy process of becoming who you really are. I am your host, Marquita, and I'm super grateful to have you all here. I want to talk today about my relationship with consistency. I have been going down a little bit of a rabbit hole as it relates to consistency, as it relates to how I show up, and I'm trying to decipher for myself if my inconsistencies come from lack of motivation, or if my inconsistencies come from fear. And so I have been sitting with that question. I'm finally in a space, and I think that I'm finally in a space where I am fully accepting that the work that I am meant to be doing is spiritually driven. Meaning that whatever I do, there will be some spirituality behind it. I recognize that for me, I'm not meant to work a traditional 9 to 5. And it has come like full circle so many times. But I keep trying because I feel like I don't know any other way. I try to give myself grace because that is exactly what I need, as I'm learning, which I feel like I've been learning this lesson since 2019. But I think that I have finally accepted the fact that my work and my mission and the things that I'm supposed to do, it's not going to come from, a 9 to 5 job. And so in accepting that, I try to give myself space and time to sit with what I actually am supposed to do. And it doesn't have to be what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. For me, where I'm sitting at right now is, what am I supposed to do right now? Where should my focus be right now? And I just feel like a block. I feel like a block. And the relationship with consistency, and what I'm, realizing is that I feel like if I could just be consistent with one thing, then it will produce the fruits of the labor. Like, if I can just be consistent with showing up here every week with an episode, that's more, content that is put out, and there's more energy that I'm putting out into the universe so that it can come back to me. And so I'm just recognizing for myself, like, the ways in which I feel like I'm holding myself back. Because, so funny story, I seen this girl on TikTok, and she was like, type into ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT to roast you based off of, the information that ChatGPT knows, and don't hold back. And when I tell you some of the things that ChatGPT told me, it hit me at my core. And one thing that stood out the most is you are afraid of your own power. You know that you're powerful. You know that you have wisdom. You know that you have something to say. You know that you have some energy to give out into the universe. But you're afraid of your own power. And I was like, dang, it's true. It's really true. And it's funny, it's funny because I have a book that I have published called Walking Your Power. Like, and I'm currently working on, an evolved version of that. I can recognize and give moments of like, I'm not walking in my power. I'm not being true to my highest self. I'm not being true to my ancestors, And another thing that I, have been sitting with is, why am I not financially abundant? And that was a real, question of like, a serious question of, I should be rich. That is my mindset and my energy behind a lot of things. I'm like, I should be rich. I feel like I should be rich. Like, I genuinely in my heart and in my soul feel like I should never struggle, financially. And so because I know that and I believe that down to my core, it's always interesting to me when I'm in financial like constraints or financial resistance rather. It's interesting because I'm like, this is not in alignment with who I am and who I know myself to be. And so the question that I had to ask myself is, what is cutting me off from my financial abundance? And the answer that I got very quickly is that I'm not putting out enough energy into the universe. I'm doing the workings, right? Like, I'm lighting the candles, I'm putting the candle on, I'm doing my magic, I'm working my magic, but I have to take the same energy that I put into, working my magic and take it externally, right? I have to take it externally and give it out into the universe so that it can come back to me. And I think like all the time, I'm like, I've given out so much energy that there's no way that, things are not continuously flowing, in abundance to me. Because I have, I used to be an overgiver, a people pleaser. Like, I just, want people to do well. I had a hard time with saying no. I had a hard time with setting up boundaries, and I've given out a lot. And it was never with the intention of, oh, it's coming back to me. It was just with the intention of, I feel like I'm supposed to do this. And so as I've healed from that over the years, the overgiving, the people pleasing, the not knowing how to say no, I feel like I have become really selfish, which is okay to be selfish, right? Like, I'm never not going to be selfish. I love myself so much that I am my number one priority always. But what I feel or felt is that I'm not putting out enough energy into the universe, which is not coming back to me. And so I recognize that, and what I understood is that it doesn't have to be in the form of me donating some money, which I did do. I donated some money the other day, but it doesn't have to be in that form. For me, it can genuinely be in the form of me sitting down and talking to you all, or talking out into an audience to provide some sort of lesson, or to provide something, and just to give out some good positive energy into the universe, right? It can be as simple as that. For me, that's simple, right? Because I know that I teach through the clarity of my experience. I am the example that people need in order to, get a lesson from. I've accepted that, and not to say it in the sense of like every single person, but I know a large majority of people can get a lesson from the experiences that I have in life, because there is no reason why I have some of the experiences that I have if they are not meant to help other people. And so I've accepted that part of my reality, and I'm just like, okay, Marquita, you have to be more serious. You have to be more consistent. You have to give out the energy that you wish to receive back with no expectation that you're going to receive it back, but you just know. I just know that I'm going to receive, something back. And that I'm wanting to work on that. It is my intention to work on that, right? However, I still feel that I have made some excuses. And I'm not going to be too hard on myself because I did record a lot of content last week. I'm not going to be too hard on myself because of that. But what I feel is that I just feel like I'm supposed to be doing more. And that could be programming too. Like, that really can be programming, the feeling of I'm supposed to be doing more. It's crazy because 2019 was the last time that I worked a consistent job. And I am still deconditioning my mind, body, and spirit from like this hustle mode, busy bee mentality. And it's crazy. It's because like I know that I enjoy my slow mornings. I enjoy, going to the gym when I want to go to the gym. Like, I enjoy having the freedom of my day and time. But I still feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm actually still learning how to sit down. I learned a lot of that last year because in 2025, I didn't work at all. I mean, the last time I worked in 2025 was like March. And then I didn't do nothing. Like, I didn't do anything. Like, I think I took like a couple of dog sitting gigs. But outside of that, 2025, baby, I was sat. Okay? 2025 was the year of me being able to genuinely sit down and, not worry about anything financially. I was financially set. Everything was taken care of. I didn't have that many bills. And I was literally sat down, and it gave me so much space to learn myself. It gave me space to, heal. It gave me space to work through identity issues. It gave me space to just be. There's this thing where I've heard before, like, we're not human doings. We are human beings. It doesn't make any sense why someone should have to work so hard just to maintain basic needs. And I think that what has been proven to me, through the universe is that it's a lie. You don't have to do all of that to have your basic needs met. Because I've been taken care of. I've been taken care of since 2019. And I quite literally don't even know sometimes how I've been taken care of. I don't know where the money came from, where the income came from. I don't know. Was it always sunshine and rainbows? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've slept in, hotels where roaches were crawling up and down the walls all throughout the place. I've slept on friends' couches. I've slept in my car for one night. That was it. I just slept in my car for one night. But like everything else is just like, I was still, even in those moments of, it not being so comfortable for me, I was still taken care of. I still had a roof over my head. I still had clothes on my back, and I still had shoes on my feet, and I still was able to eat and drink water. Even with the one night where I slept in my car, I had shelter. And so I think about those, I think about those times, I think about where I'm at now, which I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for where I am now. It has been quite the journey, but there's a part of me like, okay, okay, like I went through all of that to get this lesson, and now I'm supposed to teach it to other people. And I want to teach it to other people. I want people to know and to understand that they don't have to work themselves into the ground just to live. What I think, though, is people are addicted to the status. People are addicted to climbing the ladder. People are addicted to the capitalism, which I understand. Like I like to spend money. That's why I had to have that conversation with Spirit. Like, listen, where's the financial abundance? Because baby, I like to spend. And the thing about it is, for me, the spending doesn't feel big. Because I'm not a big spender. Like I don't, I'm not like a label person. My big, spending comes in travel. And so that is what I love to do. That's my favorite thing to do. I was literally just thinking about, I think travel is going to be the key to me being consistent, or the key to like my career paths like really opening up, because I love traveling so much that when I'm traveling, I meet amazing people. I make great connections. I'm just a different person. I'm just a different person when I'm traveling. And so that's what I'm thinking for myself. But overall, it's just, what is my relationship with consistency? I go to the gym at least 4 days a week consistently. And I think about that all the time. I go and I show up at this gym 4 to 5 days a week, every day, no problem. And, it has been that way. Even when I was homeless, even when I didn't have a home, I was still at that gym every day. And for me, working out definitely is a mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional thing, of course, because it's just amazing. It's amazing to see what the body does. I love lifting. I don't really love cardio, but I do it. But I really love lifting weights. I love moving my body. And so what I'm learning is that I can be consistent. But now it's time for me to be consistent with my career. It's time for me to learn how to take myself seriously. Because if I can't take myself seriously, nobody else is going to take me seriously. It's time for me to truly accept that I have something to say. I have something to say. I have something to teach. It is time for me to accept that this is my path. My path is communication. My path is, me talking about my spiritual downloads and the things that Spirit, is giving to me. I don't know how things will work out for me, but I do trust that they are always working for me. And even in this little, small period of time where I'm not really producing that much financial income, I do know that there is something right now that is working for me, that is opening a door or a road for me to be more evolved financially. I've been venerating my ancestors a lot more. And so I've been working with my ancestors. I've been learning how to connect with them. I've been learning how to honorate them and venerate them. And for those of you who don't know what ancestor veneration is, it pretty much is, honoring your ancestors and communicating with them as they have transitioned, and they're in the spiritual realm, and we are obviously still in the physical realm. And so I've been learning about the spiritual communication and how to venerate them and how to honor them and so on and so forth. And I give offerings. I'm at my altar. I clean my altar. I am learning how to connect deeper with my loved ones who have transitioned. However, they told me one of the ways and the best way that you can always, let me correct myself, that you can always honor us is by living in your truth. It's by living in my truth. And the truth is, baby, I don't want to work. I don't want to work. I don't want to do it, and I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't want to work. And even when I think about like content creation and life coaching, or these things that can be a little bit more open where I can control my schedule, that still kind of feel like too much work. That feel like too much work. And if it feels to me like it's too much work and that I don't have free spirit with what I'm producing, I'm not going to do it. And so I do think that this part of it, the part where I'm, doing the podcast and starting the podcast, it's a part of something that's going to be something bigger. I know for a fact. I want to be consistent here, but I don't always have something to say. But what I want to do is when I do have something to say, then I get on here and I actually say it and give the energy out, because that is how I honor my loved ones who have transitioned. That is how, we work together, because life is a co-creation. This is a co-creative experience. We can sit up all day, work our magic, put a candle on it, do spells, do workings. We can ask God, ask Jesus, pray, ask Buddha, and whoever you believe in, and however and whatever faith lane you are in and how you practice your spirituality. We can do all the workings and all the prayers. But at the end of the day, it's a lot. Now listen, it's a lot that spirit can do, okay? Like the bulk of it is kind of out of our hands, right? But there is some action that has to take place. For the actor or actress that want to make it big in Hollywood, they have to go to the audition. They have to show up for the role that they want. They can't just, some people can, just depending on if you've made it or not. But they can't, for most actors and actresses who are trying to make it quote unquote big in Hollywood, their name won't be known until they've gotten out there. So they have to build themselves up to that point. And so, yes, there are big name actresses and actors who are getting, phone calls from people who wants them to be in their movie. However, the people who are starting at, the bottom, they have to show up. They have to take a little bit more action and a little bit more effort and intention towards the goal. And that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I'm just in a space where I know that this is the bottom. And I know that small habits and small, effort over time will help me produce more. It will help me, evolve more. And that's the only way. The only way that I'm going to get better, the only way that I am going to truly recognize my power is if I start taking myself seriously and being consistent. People think all the time that, entrepreneurs have it better. People think all the time, that it's better to be an entrepreneur because now you're in charge of your time. But baby, I was like, listen, I don't want a job, and I don't want to be an entrepreneur. I just want to give out energy. I just want to create energy. And this is what I do to create energy. I speak. And I try to be a teaching force in my life every single day. I try to teach somebody something every single day. That way, the energy can just circle back around to me. The energy that I've given out can come back around to me. And so, yeah, I think that really sums it up. I don't feel like I have anything else to say about that. And as I continue to create these episodes, they are going to be free flowing. I'm not going to force myself into more speaking, and I'm not going to, limit the time either. And so I'm super grateful that you are here. If you enjoyed the podcast, please leave me a comment and share. As I am trying to grow and evolve, I would like this podcast to grow and evolve in due time. I do trust it. It is done. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Peace.